Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another session of Ask Zak with myself, Zak, and my trusted colleague, Sean.
Well, good evening and welcome back again.
Tonight we're going to talk about a little bit on licks and cattle supplementation, which is very important this time of year. But a lot of people think in the summer it's not important. Now the main reason, especially if you're an extensive farmer, meaning your animals are out on the grazing and not in a feedlot or a small camp where you feed them, we must remember our nature is a wonderful thing. So what nature does is, especially our veld, when the daylight hours start to shorten, the plants pick that up and they know they need to go into rest. They need to store their reserves for the coming winter so that they are ready for our winter months and to see that time through. And when the first rain comes, they put that energy into new growth. But what happens in that process is the plants withdraw most of the nutrients into their root system. So example like here in the Highveld, where you get around about a 20% protein value, you all of a sudden in the winter months fall down to maybe 3% protein content. And remember, protein is what builds muscle in our animals. So that's why we supplement. Even with our vitamins and our minerals, we have to supplement because the veld is withdrawing it from the animals, and animals desperately need it to stay on condition. Now, Sean, when it comes to minerals and supplements, so we get the blocks and we get the licks, the mpupu, as the people call it. What is the difference if we kick off with the blocks?
Okay, Zak, with blocks, very important, we have something called a protein block and a mineral block. The protein block, we usually recommend it for winter, and the mineral block, recommended usually for summer. The reason being the protein block, like Zak said, in winter, our grass is lacking protein. The protein has dropped to the minimalist as possible. So now we're going to try and keep up the production and condition of our animals by supplementing. Then we use the protein block. The protein block is a high level source of protein to keep your animals in condition through winter. And then the mineral block on the other side is usually we use it for summer. In summer our grasses are beautiful, but the problem is that we are still short of phosphorus in our grasses. And that mineral block helps supplement all these minerals that we may be short from our nice lush green grass. So always remember to supplement, or else we are going to lose condition. And when we lose condition, we lose production and reproduction.
Now, when we look at as well, some people, depending on your breeding season, we talk about something like flash feeding. Now, flash feeding is just to stimulate that animal to super ovulate, improve sperm counts in our bulls, and make sure that animal is ready for when you put the bull and the cows together. Now, a product that we use usually 6 weeks beforehand, you can give the animals our production meal. Now the production meal is a wonderful product. It's got all the vitamins and minerals in, but it's got more energy in and a little more, we call it bypass protein. And that bypass protein is a natural source of protein, and that helps the animal, of course, when it comes to our heifers, when you need ovulation, good ovulation, and of course with your bulls, a good sperm count. So very important. If you do those things and your cows don't take and your bulls don't take, or don't cover the cows, you should need to look at the animal. Remember, when we work with cattle, we always select. We want to keep the best. Justice and I last week had a conversation about genetics. Remember, you can give the best food, the best lick, everything, but if the animal doesn't have that predisposition in its body, you're fighting a losing battle. So make sure your animals are always the best that you select, and of course flush feed them to assist them with that super ovulation, and of course with the sperm count and just picking up general condition. Next thing, of course, Sean, when it comes down to our licks, you touched on our lick blocks, but if a person doesn't want to use a lick block, what can they use?
Well, Zak, very important. One of the most important points is that on the blocks, we always say it's less labor intensive and keeping your condition in good levels. But then if you have a little bit more labor, you have a little bit more time, you want to be a little bit more precise, we have something called a winter lick and a mineral lick. This comes in a bag, as Zak said, in a mupi form. So these bags, just as I said, winter lick for winter, mineral lick for summer, but the difference is in our winter lick we put a lot of urea. That urea needs to be protected from being wet. If it's wet, it becomes a little bit toxic, becomes a toxic thing for your ruminants. So always make sure when you give your winter lick, make sure it doesn't get wet, because it doesn't get wet because of the urea. So as usual, winter lick for your winter to keep the condition going, so that your animals do not lose condition. And then the mineral lick is to keep the minerals, all sorts of minerals, not only phosphorus, other important minerals like zinc and selenium, to keep your hooves in condition, to keep so that they can withstand any cracks during summer, because it's a dry time. So other than that, make sure that when you use these licks, it's very key and very important. We call them licks because they need to be working with your roughage. Without roughage, these feed are becoming useless. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, and you're actually wasting time in your production. So always make sure enough roughage, enough grazing, enough hay. Yes.
And just to add on to that, of course, if you, some people think they just need to supplement strategic times of the year, we advise you supplement right through the year. Because what usually happens if you withdraw supplementation for quite a while and you put it out of all of a sudden, those animals clear out those licks very, very quickly. And that's just because they're eating to get their levels in their body right. As soon as those levels in their body stabilize, you will see the consumption of the lick will be much lower. So if you're new to this and you've never supplemented before and you put a supplement down and the animals clear you out, don't get a heart attack. Just the animals, they're basically correcting those mineral imbalances in their bodies until it stabilizes. Now, of course, we share a lot of information on this session, but we do a lot of info sessions. Now, Sean, this week I don't think we're up and running. But
unfortunately, Zach, this week we don't have an information day. We are at a Kragdag in Cullinan, Rayton. Join us, come and see us. But the next week we are in Maboho for your sheep and goat and cattle information day. If you have sheep, you have goats, just sign in and come and see us. And in Hoedspruit, we have a pig day. If you're enjoying your pigs and you enjoy your varkies and your nice squeaky little babies, also join us in Hoedspruit the following week. That's the 18th of August on Thursday. Just always remember, make sure to book a space or else you might just not have space, because we're always there to help people. And please bring your questions. Bring your questions. We will be there to help as much as we can.
And all these sessions are, of course, free of charge. So as Sean said, just book a space. We're not going to charge you. It's for us very important to share the knowledge that we've got, and very important to empower our farmers. So come in, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, just comment here on the Facebook video, or send us a DM, or even call us. We're always very close by. So from my side, have a good evening. See you next week.
Have a good evening. Cheers.